Hello, everyone. My name is Maria, and I am one of your prep staff members. I'm here interviewing my good friend Wisdom.
I am Wisdom Murray.
Um, Wisdom, I asked you to come and talk to the prep students today because I feel that as we're having generational changes and the economy is going through so many changes at the
Oh, yeah.
worldwide level, I think that it's important to hear from somebody who's fresh off the boat of high school
Mm-hmm.
and going into the first experience of your job awareness or career experience, which is to go to college if you choose to do so,
Mm-hmm.
and what what your motivators were to even pursue something like a college degree during a situation that
Like
the
a
one we're
pandemic.
at. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was like when I grew up, like I knew I was going to college because my parents, my mom and my stepfather, both got college degrees like later in their lives. Like my mom graduated like when she was 36, 38.
Yeah. I believe
She got a
so.
grad. She got a master's. Definitely like around her 40s. I remember that. And
Non-traditional student.
a non-traditional student,
Yeah.
exactly, which is always a very difficult student to be because you didn't come straight from high school. She just didn't go to college, but then she had me and realized that she needed to go to college.
Right.
She actually became like the first person in her family to graduate from college. No one in her
Right.
in her family like graduated from college before.
That's so cool.
It really is. So like that inspired me to go to college mainly with her, and then my stepfather Marshall went to college and just graduated like 3 years ago. Definitely while I was in high school. I think while I was a freshman he graduated. Oh, the wind.
Hello.
Sorry, I get distracted. But
So
but-
yeah, we were talking a little bit more about your motivating factors.
Mhm.
You mentioned a little bit
Right.
of what.
and it was just kind of like a normal thing to do. Like when you graduate high school, you're going to college. It's just kind of like something that was implanted in my brain, and something I started doing like during my senior year, like applying to colleges because I applied to 17 schools.
Wow.
Like because I went to a Northeast School of the Arts, NISA, at Lee High School for
Okay.
musical theater. I wanted to do musical theater or acting, Bachelor of Fine Arts majors, which is like a more rigorous conservatory type degree than like a bachelor's or associate's,
Right.
or even a master's, essentially.
Okay.
And so I auditioned for those programs, but I also applied to theater directing schools because I started doing directing, and I really loved it because I did a wonderful musical called Last 5 Years, and it changed my life forever. I could talk about it for hours, but that's not why we're here.
Right.
Love that show, but and so I really wanted to become a director, and as of now, I have 4 directing credits in the span of a year, which is
Okay.
quite insane for me as like a first time director.
Okay.
Being able to have like I had to thank my acting teacher David Conley. That's his name. I have to say his name because without that man, I am nothing. Well, no, I had to thank my mom, but also but also that man really helped my career. Really like gave me the support, the creative support that I needed at
Yeah.
that time to
Yeah.
do Last 5 Years and do the 3 other things I did that were really great. So much fun. Learned a lot. And so I really wanted to do a degree in that. So I applied literally for 3 different majors.
Wow.
Which was a crazy time. And I auditioned for 17 schools for those like BFA
Oh my
programs,
goodness.
even BA programs.
Wow.
Because there are a lot of great BA programs, bachelor programs that will treat it like a rigorous course.
I see. So really like that you
Mhm.
brought up the influence that you had from one of the faculty at your school,
Yeah.
Mr. O'Connelly, right?
Yeah, love that man.
So I want what the prep students right now. We're providing them with also our staff and everything. We're trying to provide a support system for those that are interested in STEM to be able to pursue that, even though there might be situations around us that can make it difficult to
Right.
pursue things that we want. Can you talk a little bit more about what kind of influence? What kind of influence did he have on you?
Oh yeah.
And what made it so helpful for you?
and throughout high school a lot, I felt alone a lot, which is really funny for an art school, but like it's just how high school works, and as many of you will probably understand that, especially going into high school, like people your age suck sometimes.
Yeah.
But he was really there, really like as an actor, really gave me so much support. I remember doing a monologue for him for a scholarship opportunity. It was like a private session like between us, and I remember crying during my monologue because I reached down something so traumatic in my life. And and I finished the monologue like on the floor crying. I look up and this man is laughing at me. It just reminded me like it's all make believe, it's not real, like what I did. What happened was real, but only for a moment. And so he really kind of like he knew that I was like, he gave me that great emotional and creative support in that. But as a director, it really impacted my life because because Last 5 Years is a very difficult show to do for your first time directing. Okay. One, it's a musical, so you have to count into like all the musical aspects, like scene changes transitions are much more complicated than like regular plays where it all happens naturally. Because you got to move set pieces around and you have two actors having to do that. Another thing is that he watched my show and gave me a huge no, which was to take out this huge set piece that was in the way. Because it was in a small black box space. And I had to reblock the show in a week, but I only had 2 hours out of that entire week to do that. Got no sleep, and he was there closing night, came up to me and said it was really great. And after that, he gave me a lot of great opportunities. The first opportunity was helping him like block a scene in Mamma Mia, our fall musical. But I got sick that day, so I couldn't do it. Aww. But the offer really touched me. It really genuinely shocked me. I literally had to make sure. Like I went he was like, "Are you sure?" Why are you asking me? He's like, "Yeah, I'm asking Wisdom, the director." And it was such a nice thing coming from the man that like inspired me to be a director.
Sure.
Yeah, and I did this show. My second show I directed was called Evanescence, which is a weird philosophical, non-realistic play. And I had this whole idea. Like originally, it was a one-woman show where she talked about like sex, suicide, romance, a lot of very complicated themes like abandonment. And I decided to and then at some point Shakespeare comes out of nowhere and he seems to have murdered someone. Weird play. Recommend reading it if you can find it. Okay. But it was a 10-minute play, and I wanted to morph it into Bo Burnham's like Left Brain, Right Brain, because I was so intrigued about why the woman was like really talking about that stuff. That's really cool. I really thought about how the mind works. I had to act in it as part of like the assignment, so I played the right brain, the more creative side, talking about like sex and love. And I thought, he was so. When I first told him the idea, he thought it was the weirdest thing I had come up with, because this was my second time directing, and I wanted to reinterpret an entire play. Wow. But he was in full support of it. He gave me great ideas about what to do, and it was another great hit. With a lot of, I had people coming up to me. One of my favorite reactions to that play was, they came, because it was a 10-minute play, and we had to perform it for an hour straight, so we did it 7 times. Wow. I mean, that's like 70 minutes. We didn't realize we were going over time, me and the cast. This freshman girl came in and watched it the first time, cried at this certain part, I forgot what part, left, and then came back, watched the whole thing again, and cried at the same moment.
Oh, wow. And
it was my actor, David Conley, told me that, and it blew me away. But, like, I could go on about that, but to answer your question about, like, how much of an influence he had on me, he was really one of the only people besides my parents, at that school, that really thought that I had potential to be a great director, and to really do something with my talent, and to really give me the full support that I needed from someone like him, a director who has been teaching acting for over 20 years, who has directed wonderful shows that I've had the pleasure of being a part of for 20 years. That like his shows that I've always been influenced by to become a director. So his support, and he's always so supportive. Like out like the 20 people in my musical theater class, like he was always so supportive of everyone. And that also influenced me too to be really supportive of like people that I work with.
Oh, that's awesome.
Truly truly inspirational man. I have no idea when he'll ever retire. I hope he never does. Because there are teachers that just refuse to retire.
That's true. I can see that.
Because retirement is a choice.
That is so true. So I think that you definitely were able to talk about what it's like to be in the process of finding what your passions are.
Yeah, it took a long time.
Yeah, you did such a good job going through the different experiences you had. And what I really picked up from that was that this spirit of perseverance over and over again. And I think that becomes really important also for prep students. Again, any students of any of these more specialized programs, like STEM,
NISA, or International School of Americas, which is another school in my grade school.
Yes, it we all want to harness certain skills, and one of them is definitely this perseverance, and what I kept hearing also in the way you pursued that was.
Hi.
Oh wait, what's happening?
We're recording.
It's okay. We can edit it.
You can edit it out. Yeah,
Don't worry.
I'll make fun of her for later. It's like, I never walked in during your podcast, and then you walk in on ours. Alright, so where should we pick up that there's a lot of perseverance?
Yeah, so there's something I picked up on in the spirit of perseverance is that you not only you thought of yourself as you applied the content you were learning, regardless of the curriculum. You made it part of your life. So you mentioned, for example, that you had an opportunity to do a play, conduct a play, or something. I'm sorry if I don't use.
Oh no, yeah, it's fine.
To help with the play or something.
Oh, to help like with Mamma Mia.
Yeah. Well, when you said that you did a reinterpretation.
Oh, reinterpretation of Evanescence.
Yeah,
yes.
when you said you could have done other things. Is that what I understood? But you decided to do that.
Yeah, because I was like,
kind of odd, but you still had support.
Yeah.
I really like.
Because he never read that play before.
Yeah.
And all of the projects that I wanted to do, he had except last 5 years, he had never heard of the play before.
I really like that you took an opportunity that was part of your curriculum. Because you said you had to take one of these classes where you chose the right brain.
Yeah.
Right. So you use the material that's being pushed upon you, but you create opportunities for your passions to seep in.
Yeah.
So I really like that you did that, and that seems to be the nature and the spirit of you finding how to overcome something.
Because everyone, the whole point of that was for our Acting 4 showcase, my senior showcase, where we, it was non-realistic, and all my entire class wanted to do a museum type theater piece, where there were 7 different pieces, including mine, and it was the entire audience can go see which one. They could choose to leave halfway through mine, and then go see others. It was a great experience, because we really had to, grab those people's attention. It made me proud of my entire class. 6 of those pieces were originally written by, original plays written by those students or transcribed from, interviews that they did. And they're very great. I tried to watch as many as I could. They were all so spectacular. But I'm not a strong writer. Never have been. I literally created a whole web series where almost all of it was improvised. I only wrote one episode, scripted. And I've never been a strong writer. Whenever I do write, I have to have, other people. Because I can never do that by myself. I wrote a screenplay, but, that's, I had to have, a known screenwriter to help me, guide me through that. But, I mean, I didn't want to test out my writing skills in a acting showcase where a bunch of my intimidating peers were, judging it. So I wanted to direct a play. Yeah. And so that's when the whole Evanescence thing came about.
That's cool.
And so I really could have just done, I could have written a play that was probably going to be weird, or I could have just done a play that was normal and find that was non-realistic and just do it the way it was, but I wanted to reinterpret it because I wanted to challenge myself.
So I think what I like about that is that you found that it's what I tend to call a strengths-based decision,
Mhm.
because you saw your strengths and you saw your weaknesses,
Yeah.
and instead of challenging yourself on your weak points, you decided to use your strong points
Mhm.
to create a challenge, and not really focus on the what's the opposite of strength? I just forgot.
Weakness
The
or
weakness or whatever.
yeah.
You decided to put your attention, your focus on your strengths and
Yeah.
not your weaknesses, which is something that we know psychologically
Mhm.
is a better approach, a more
Oh, yeah.
efficient approach. And you did that at a very, very like non-conscious.
Mhm.
It seems like
It was just
very-
like a second nature to me, like
yeah.
because like I've always wanted to direct since like my sophomore year of high school.
Right.
That was like because like that was I've always wanted to do something like that because it was just seemed really cool to me. When I did it and I knew that I was good at it, I didn't want to stop. I wanted to, and I didn't want to be at the same level that I was. I wanted to do something like even like more complicated.
Right.
And I was really shocked that I was like capable of doing that. Because like a lot of stuff about like you learn about yourself when you do something that you feel is out of your comfort zone,
True.
or even like is a very bold decision to do.
Yeah.
You constantly surprise yourself, and you should surprise yourself. Because like why? Who wants to live their life as like a simple person who tries to not do so much or not too many bold choices? It's
True.
not fun, and it's not gonna get you anywhere.
Yeah.
Life is made of bold, spontaneous choices that you're not even aware of that you're making. It's
That's
how we,
true.
it's how we fall in love. It's how we get great jobs that we love to do. It's how we make friends. There's no like it's how you and I are friends essentially.
Yeah,
I literally
that's
met
true.
you at one of my parents' parties, and we just
Yeah.
said hi, and
Yeah.
we became like friends. High five.
Yeah.
Friendship.
It's true.
It really is, and so really it's table.
Sorry.
And really it's just spontaneity and being the bold person can
To
really
pursue that.
really pursue that. So I trust that you take that with you, even as those in like STEM students have to make bold decisions, like scientists today,
many,
like in coronavirus,
many.
have to make so
Yeah.
much bold decisions.
All the time.
Because like how else are you gonna find like the vaccine for the coronavirus,
That's true.
or even like engineering students who have to really make bold decisions in how to really engineer something, how to build something, how to create something.
Bridges,
Mhm.
cell towers.
Math students having to be like, no, that's not right. And be wrong.
Yeah.
Or like
theoretical physicists.
theoretical
We have
physicists,
to
yeah.
go through that all the time.
Again, like Thomas Edison didn't invent a light bulb in like one day. It took 1,000 tries. It took almost
It's true.
1,000 days
It's true.
because he made so many bold choices,
Yeah.
and he failed and failed and then he succeeded, and that's how life should be.
Yeah. So, before we let everyone go, I kind of wanted to highlight one of the biggest things that I admire about you and that you've taught me this summer.
Mhm.
And something that I think is really important for the age group that we're presenting is the recurring theme of, your intuition and getting
Right.
in touch with your intuition. I
Mhm.
really admire how intuitive you are.
Mhm.
That's an area I'm working on myself,
Mhm.
but I really do admire how intuitive you are and how I don't know if it's conscious or unconscious aware you are, because you follow it.
Mm-hmm.
And you're very in tune and congruent with your intuition. That's what I want to say.
I mean, like you have to.
So
Like,
how can you like if somebody was in a position where if you could give some guidance points on how to tap into your intuition, could you give a couple of pointers or anything that might be helpful? Keynote before we go.
it's always so hard to talk about that because like I even like it took me a long time because like I was like such a socially like awkward kid going into high school, not going into high
Yeah.
school but being in high school, that I didn't really trust myself a lot until I decided to just take the leap as a director.
Okay.
But like a lot of it is really saying
awesome.
to trust your first answer.
Okay.
Like it's kind of like even like it's like an academic thing. Like usually like when you're guessing something, your first choice is most likely the right choice. Don't second guess yourself. I guess that's what I could really like say about that.
Okay.
Like most people, like I remember, and you know who I'm talking about, but I remember like some guy telling me saying like, "Oh, intuition is based off of fear. Don't and like don't be afraid of your fear. It's not based off of fear. It's based off of some part of your body. To me, it's like my gut telling me to like, hey, I don't trust this person, or hey, maybe we should try this. And it's really up to you whether to listen to it or not.
True.
Like when we had that tornado warning recently, like I looked out into like the sky and I thought there's a tornado coming because I'd never seen the sky like that before. Also, I watched Twister.
That's true.
Yeah, but those who don't know what like intuition is, because some people like really don't. It's like it's basically the feeling in your body that is telling you something is wrong or something is like happening.
Yeah.
Or like it's just kind of like it's like a defense mechanism your body is creating inside of you.
Yeah.
To either warn you, tell you something, and it's just literally you're talking with your inner self about like if this is right or this is wrong.
Yeah. The way that I've come to think of it is a set of information that your body and or brain gathers in such a short amount of time.
Right.
There's not enough time for it to transfer the details of that information to your brain. So it goes through to your gut, which is the second brain and the direct nerve, because of the flight or fight response.
Yeah, it's the fight or flight response.
Is this going to be a tiger? Do I really need to know why the tiger, if the tiger is going to eat me, or do I need to know that I should run? And that's the thing, run. So
and I'm sure there's like an academic definition of intuition that we're probably getting wrong.
But it's something amongst those lines.
Yeah, and it's different for every person. Like for me, it's based off of people. Like it's always rare for me where like I immediately don't like a person, but that person I was talking about, like some part of my body was just not liking him the minute I saw him, and it was just like, and that happens with your body. I mean, it's also like, and that could also mean a lot of things. It could mean like racism. It could be a lot of prejudice is happening, or it's just like you just don't like the vibe the person is giving off.
Yeah.
Like they could be a really huge jerk. Like,
and as you do get older, you do learn different kinds of. It's kind of like when you have a jerk reaction. You learn different types of jerks that your body does. So you do have a sense of like, okay, I'm getting this weird feeling that I call creepy person feeling, or stranger danger alert.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you kind of learn about yourself, but initially it is something that I'm 10 years older than Wisdom, so you know we have a 10-year gap. But I do remember that I came from I feel like as a child we're very intuitive, but we don't know what the difference is.
Oh yeah, children are a great example of making bold choices in their lives.
Yeah.
That's how so many of them get injured.
Yeah, as we get older, I almost feel like we kind of get confused in our intuition, and then when you become an adult, you really do need both.
Yeah.
So.
And it's okay. It takes time.
Yeah.
You have life is short, but there's enough time for you to understand yourself.
Yeah, it has its pace, and it definitely has room for you.
Yeah. Something I wanted to bring up, because you brought up this question, like why we should go to college and why we should. Yeah, I want to talk about that because a lot of you, like, especially me and my family, are worried about like the economy of like COVID and how that's affecting all of us financially. I'm pretty sure like some of you guys are having like problems in like financial with your family. Like so is mine, and definitely so is like Maria here.
Yeah.
And we're definitely all struggling. So I think, but like, something I love about my family, we're really trying to go to trying to get me to college, no matter what.
That's true.
And I think that, and even talk about today, like, there's always a debate about like, is college necessary?
Right.
Is like, should you go into like thousands of dollars of debt for an education that might not even be beneficial in the future? Yeah, of course. I mean, like, everything, like, things change. Like, it's definitely, like, going to college was definitely different than, like, it was 10 years ago. Like, going to college, like, it's a choice. Like, you can go if you want to. But now it's just like, no, you definitely should go to college. You actually have to go to college.
Yeah.
because so many jobs like require a degree, or like obviously a medical student or like a medical field, like a psychologist or a surgeon, you have to have a degree because you're not gonna learn that in high school like for 4 years.
Right.
I'm not gonna trust like a high school student who's like, no offense, guys, but I'm not gonna trust like a high school student who just like, oh, I've been doing home ec for like
Yeah.
4 years. I could definitely be getting that wrong. I don't want to offend people, but who are in home ec, mad respect to home ec. But it's like I don't want to trust a student like who like or someone who watched Grey's Anatomy, like in one episode of Grey's Anatomy.
To do like
Exa-
some trichiotomy.
Yeah, like, but like even like for, because I'm getting a degree. I'm officially getting a degree in like theater directing, Columbia College, not university. I'm not Ivy League material. Sorry, guys. But because that's something I want to do. And it's always a difficult question whether like should I do something I'm passionate or do something practical,
That's
do
true.
something realistic. And I've always like gotten that, like it's always I've thought of that myself.
Yep.
Because like we all have like I bet like at some point at Columbia I'm going to think about dropping out.
Yep.
Or like changing majors.
Yep.
I've definitely thought about that at NISA. Like, oh, excuse me. But I definitely like, because my sophomore year, like, am I a good enough actor?
Yep.
Do I even want to do acting? And I don't even feel passionate about it anymore. And now I probably might not act in a long time, but I'll definitely keep directing until the day I die.
Yeah.
Because like that's something I love doing. I think about it like the minute I wake up to the minute I go to sleep.
Yeah.
Like because it's something I love doing.
Yeah.
And I love not telling people what to do necessarily, but I love like just motivating people, guiding people into like great performances. Because all the actors that I've directed always give great performances, and I don't even want to feel like I give credit for that.
Yeah.
Because I love all my actors like that I've directed. I love all of them to pieces, like because they're just such sweet people. But they're also so talented.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like I don't even have to try, which is the greatest gift as a director, as a theater director, or just anyone. Like, you feel like you don't have to try.
And the cool thing about that is that you want to choose preferably something that you love,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that is balanced, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. But yeah, you do want to choose something that you love because you end up not feeling like you're working. So you could, if you did need to work overtime, it doesn't feel like it to you because it's something that is intrinsically so it feeds you in a way that it prevents from the regular time pass to actually make it feel like work, right? So that's when people can work much longer. Sometimes and you get distracted when you're having fun. That's the kind of idea.
Yeah.
So
I definitely
think it's definitely part of that.
Yeah, I definitely want to say like it's okay to like get a degree in like something that you don't like too. Like it's okay to get a degree in as a lawyer, as a neuroscience major. It's okay to do that stuff. Like I don't want you to leave this video or leave this interview feeling like that those degrees are worthless. They're definitely not.
Yeah, no.
Like we definitely need more doctors. We need more lawyers. We definitely need all these like very practical degrees. How otherwise I'll be falling apart.
Yeah.
I definitely don't want an artist being a politician. Not gonna lie. And I think.
Yeah.
And I don't want to become a politician. I'm greatly involved in politics, but I do not want to become a politician. That sounds not my mindset, not my field of what I want to do.
But I think that it goes back to this relativity. So for a person that is excited by talks that are heated at the macroeconomic level, politics is something that is risque for them.
It is.
You know,
it's a very crazy field.
So for everybody, medicine for me was
That's
very
you're
scary.
In neuroscience. Yeah,
I was pre-med, and it was a very wild, follow your heart type of thing because I came from pre-engineering.
Yeah, Maria was a neuroscience major or like a pre-med student for 5 years, right?
Four. Neuroscience is for 5. Yes, but 4. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but like I had never had anybody in the biology sciences in my family, and
Right.
the only thing that my family had as far as education, because my family doesn't have a lot of degrees either, was engineering.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was engineering is very rooted.
It is,
right?
yeah.
So it's
Very difficult.
Relatively very practical, very meaning down to earth, and very like useful, direct. But relative to medicine, which one's engineering was more practical.
Yeah.
Because it's literally more practical.
Yeah.
So it always goes back to that relative, and I think that what we're talking about is between your choices, pick one that calls out to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, what do you want to spend your money like learning in?
Yeah.
Because again, like college is expensive. And no matter what, even if you don't go to college, you're going to be in debt. That's something to learn about. Like,
yeah.
Even if you like get a full ride, you're gonna be in debt because they don't give you a full ride for housing. They give you a full ride for their main tuition. Sorry to break a lot of you guys' hearts about that, but it's still good to get like paid like your tuition, your full ride. And I could definitely be wrong.
No, you're pretty right.
Nice.
Things are changing. I mean, things have changed. Things are changing. And things will definitely.
Because colleges need like
soon.
I mean I know that universities, including Columbia College, Chicago, are opening in the fall because they need that money.
Yep.
And I honestly don't blame them. Like, I bet Harvard is doing all online for their like fall semester, and students are complaining. But like, I think people really need to understand, like, we are such in an economic like downfall that they need to do that to survive. And I think it's always so like touchy about that. It's like college is a scam, and college is a scam. You're gonna be in debt, and you feel like you're not gonna get use out of it. I mean, like, that person might have had a horrible experience. Every person's experience is college. I'm gonna find out soon because I'm a freshman. I'm gonna be a freshman going into college, but that everyone's experience is completely different from mine, from yours. Because you had a crazy experience in college, like
I did.
getting like neuroscience for 4 years, and then you became a psychology major, right?
Yeah.
And now you're here, like you do a prep class, which is really. I hope she's a really great teacher. I hope. Please don't be annoying. I will go onto the Zoom call or whatever you guys do, and personally be like, stop annoying her.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Wisdom.
Of course, thank you,
It's
Maria.
a pleasure talking to you, and I will see you guys later.
Thank you guys for having me.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Maria. Bye.
Okay.